The last roundup, last roundup, last roundup.
Horror show.
I discovered there is life after death.
How do you know?
There is a certain mental transference, telepathy that occurs between the vampires and their victims.
What do you got there, Jean-Paul? What do you got there?
Booze, but I don't know, drinks.
You drinking booze?
Yeah, why not?
That looks
Well,
like
look at
fine.
it.
It's holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year.
He's wasted.
Boy, I'm pissed that I have to do this. But fuck you anyway.
Here
How's
we
that?
go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, we got music now.
Oh, we're about to get sued.
Yeah. So this is our Christmas special, right, guys?
Ah,
And it's also the beginning of season 8, which is crazy. But yeah, so we did our
season 8 begins.
let's get that off before I get a copyright.
That's why I was singing different words.
but,
I was
but
helping you out.
we did our annual Secret Santa. I guess it's annual now. This is the second time doing it. And let's see how it goes. I'll start things off with John Paul picked for me. And how about this? We'll just go in order of who you picked. So John will be up next, right? That's who I picked for. Yeah, right. All right. So John Paul picked Rita from 2024, and what he had said when he announced this pick was that it was a fantasy movie in the lane of Pan's Labyrinth.
That is
Isn't
correct.
that what you said? Okay. The summary for the movie is: at an institution for troubled girls in Guatemala City, Rita finds herself at the center of an uprising by the seemingly magical groups of girls who are sick of being exploited. Written by Jairo. How do you say that? Do you know how to say that? Jayro. That's a
Hero.
Pyro.
Busta.
The J is an H. There you go.
Bustamante. Bustamante.
Bustamante.
Yeah.
He did 2019's La Llorona, right?
La Llorona, yep.
Oh, okay.
Which is the Mexican witch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
the
basically
worst
what it was.
kind.
Wow. Dang,
Wow.
half of my heritage is gone. Flip. And I flipped the coin. Now I'm no longer Mexican.
Illegal. Illegals.
Hey,
Yeah.
I have legal papers
You'll be
until
saying that
Supreme
a
Leader
lot in the
kicks me
next
out of this
few-
country.
4 years. Okay, so the first thing I noticed about this is this new aspect ratio. I don't know what it is. It's like, remember how like a widescreen would look on a standard TV? Like either the bars on both. Well, they've done it again. It's like they want to give you that fucking experience. So it's like panoramic or something. It's like smaller than your TV. It's longer. You're seeing more side to side. But I don't know why they're doing it. Fill the screen.
They had a
up and that's
reason in
cool.
this movie, though,
What was it?
for you to see the whole thing of everything that's going on and the sides and the
No, there's
I feel like
going on.
this whole review is going to be Frank saying
I'm not going to defend it. I'll be nice. I'm not going to defend this movie.
Yeah.
I will.
I'm just kind of. I'm gonna kind
I
of.
will let
haven't
people
gotten
go
that-
and
the
read
aspect
my
ratio.
TikTok review.
Okay, well,
and
that's just the
do
first thing and I've noticed it in other films that we've watched.
There you go.
They're doing this now. It's like, hey guys, remember what it was like to watch widescreen on a standard TV? Let's do that again. I don't understand it. I don't need it wider. I
called
need to fill my
retro.
screen up. I needed to fill my screen up. That's it. Just show me that. Use that frame. But the movie looks good. It's really, I mean, there's craftsmanship here. They clearly know what they're doing. So it's already like at a 3 from the beginning. That's automatic. If it looks this good and clean and you know what you're doing and you can tell right off the bat that these people know how to make a film of quality, it's a 3. All right off the bat.
That's their butt. There's a butt coming.
They could. They have all the means and machines to make a great movie, but did they? That's the real question.
But
Therefore.
The institution is basically split into different groups. you first, there's not much introduction to the character Rita. She's just kind of taken to this institution for like troubled girls. And all of them seem to be wearing a different kind of costume. Like there's some that are wearing wings, some that are wearing like these muzzle things, and they kind of growl like dogs. There's some of them that are look like Egyptian princesses and stuff. They all look like different kind of characters, but they're in like, it's almost like a shitty Azkaban, right? Like it's like there's not really that much magic happening, but there's like an air of magic. Like there's like the idea of magic. Um, and you know, basically it's like 60 days in kind of feeling. To me it's like a prison, and I normally like prison shit, but this is also like kind of Harry Pottery a little bit, but there's not that much magic. That's the thing, they want you to think there's more magic than there is, and it's weird. um but yeah, the she basically is roughed up whenever she gets there, and they're kind of like, you got to wear these wings if you want to survive in here, kind of like a jail, you know, like they're like the skinheads. So they they beat her into the gang. Eventually she succumbs to wearing these wings, and then you sort of find out that this institution, which has terrible electric problems, like there's just there's just terrible power. It's like Hogwarts, but the power's shaky. They got issues with the wiring. Um, but basically they like are sex trafficking these girls, I believe is what's happening. Like, and the guards are like just terrible conditions for all these girls. They're getting molested, they're getting impregnated by the guards and forced to have fucking abortions. And some of them are dying and some of them are committing suicide. And basically they're trying to like get out of there. They want to expose all this stuff that's happening. Um, there's a scene in it where they get, and I know some of this is based, I read what the real story was behind this.
Yeah,
So
this is based on some real stuff.
The terrible stuff that's in this is pretty true. Like they were trapped in their room and weren't allowed to use the bathroom. And there was a scene where they all decide they're going to pee in these buckets and throw them under the door. And they're yelling revolutionary pee. They're chanting it. And at that point I was like, is John Paul serving me, as he calls it? Did he fucking give me, because I still don't know what's going on.
This and was not a serve.
What I was expecting to happen, since everybody's like, you know, these girls that have these wings, there's like a hierarchy within it. There's like a leader and all this stuff. And they sort of make it seem like they maybe are able to fly with these wings at certain points. I thought they were going to be growing it like into her back or something, like in that sort of fantastical way. No, it doesn't ever happen. Nothing like that happens. The amount of fantasy in this is so small. It's like there's some sparkles that happen from time to time and bubbles that occur, but you don't really know the definite, there's no definite magic. There's no, like, if, you know, it looks like it wanted to be, what was that movie we watched that was a fantasy not too long ago? Moon Garden.
Right.
Mhm.
Moon Garden has,
speaking of Moon Garden, I lost that movie too.
Oh shit, that's a shame.
Yeah.
But Moon Garden is like fantasy. Like there's dark stuff in it, but also a lot of fantasy. There's not enough fantasy in this to bring me out of the darkness of the fucking constant rapes. There's no horror in this, and there's barely any fantasy, John Paul. So I don't know.
I mean, I will tell you the horror is more like the true story of the fact that this shit went down.
I was gonna say, it sounds pretty horrific.
The real stories that I read were terrible, and it does end exactly how that story ends, in a sort of. I mean,
in a sort of way, exactly.
I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but these girls have a terrible fate, and it you know, it is what it is. But they do try to put some fantasy in it. They have a social worker who looks like she works for Voldemort or something. You know, she's like she's always creeping around, and they have these characters that are like, they call themselves stars, I think, and they're just basically girls wearing like black veils, and they have little, that's the magic, you see, that's the most magic. They have little sparkles, about as much as this snow is going on around me.
Oh,
That's what it, That's what it's kind of like. But yeah, the horror in it, the real horror in it, is that if you look up this true story and find out, I mean, it would have been much more powerful of an art piece and a telling of that story if they would have just threw all that fantasy bullshit out of it and stopped adding extra shit into it, because I'm sure they did.
Yeah, you can't take a horrific story and that doesn't make it a horror movie.
It
Well,
seems like they added shit.
if you're
Is what
gonna
I'm
if you're
saying.
gonna
Like,
put it on a horror, like it's on Shutter. If you're gonna have a horror service and you're putting movies on it, it's something bad happened. It's horrific. That's not a horror movie.
yeah, I mean, you find out, like, I was expecting all of these girls to have, they all look different. I thought they were all going to have different powers, and like, and I understand why they didn't add all that extra fantasy, because they couldn't. They just kind of wanted to put a little bit of magic in it, like just like a little bit of Disney on it. But you know,
A little bit of Disney.
they, like, you find out that they're all wearing these different costumes because that makes them more appealing to clients when they sex traffic them. So, you know, yeah, I said, I'm not a fan of movies of this tone. There wasn't enough fantasy to hit like Moon Garden, but just as much sadness, like it's all throughout it. There's all that, like Moon Garden is sad as fuck from beginning to end, but it balances it with that majesty of the fucking fantasy realm that we walk through. Same thing with Pan's Labyrinth. But this doesn't have enough fantasy. It just kind of almost, I think, disrespectfully highlights this story when they could have just did a straight up documentary, or not a documentary. What do they call those movies that tell
Dramatizations.
Yeah, whatever you want to say.
I mean, I'll defend this just a tad bit, because again, there is a lot that gets lost in translation, even with the subtitles of this movie. I will tell you that, because me understanding exactly what is going down and what was written, they played a little around with that. And I think the filmmaker specifically, the fantasy was the horrific things that the girls put in their mind. So you are led to believe that you are the characters and you are the real life people. That's why this is horror. Not just that, yeah, there was a lot of fucking crazy essays left and right and all kinds of, stuff like that. But that was the whole point, to grab you and say, this shit is real. Let's look at it this way. I mean, I saw an interview with the filmmaker. He did say, hey, I interviewed a couple of these. That's what they said that they did to kind of keep their mind from like going insane.
Well, that's a little
So
bit
there's
of
that.
added context. No, I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was fucking
Yeah.
terrible. Like I said, it was beautifully shot. It's good, but not my cup of tea. If you like stuff like this, like,
I didn't serve you. This wasn't a serve. This was
for me, it's just a glass of water. It's
Okay.
a 4 out of 10. So, but if you're a
Merry
film,
Christmas.
you know, if you're a film buff and you like you guys will watch any, I don't watch dramas. There's a lot of drama in this that is not like dark. Like, it felt like you could have gave me some Archie comics for Christmas, but you made me watch fucking Precious.
Damn.
okay.
A lot of abortions.
That's
There's a lot.
funny.
There was about 5 or 6 more abortions than I like, but so John, Brainscan. Let's see what you think.
Yeah, so I got Brainscan. I believe, who gave it to me?
Me.
You did. Thank you. Okay, I couldn't remember. So yeah, this was one of those ones I remember it coming out. I saw the trailer when I was a kid. I thought it looked cool. I just never got around to seeing it until about a few years ago for the first time. So young Edward Furlong, this was in the 90s. So you got your Pet Sematary 2, Terminator 2, and then this was like his big trilogy pretty much before he kind of fell off, I guess.
We started running into buildings with his car and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Meth is a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
He was a crow. He was the crow, right? At one point, he was
He
in a
was
crow.
Yes,
in
it was.
he was the crow in the third
Fourth.
movie.
was in the
Fourth?
fourth
Fourth?
movie.
It was. That's right.
Damn. I didn't know there
Yeah,
was
it was
ending.
the fourth one with Tara Reid.
Yeah.
So the the summary is a teenager is part of an interactive video game where he kills innocent victims. Later, the murders become real. So, 1994, one of the best years for music. You got that Aerosmith Get a Grip poster throughout the movie. I love that album. CD-ROMs were top of the line. You know, this was the VHS DVD era of they're releasing games on 30 floppy disks and one CD-ROM. So you could get, if you didn't have a CD-ROM yet, you could still get them floppy disks. The Pentium chip had just come out, so you're welcome, few children. You know, this is when technology started to happen. You know, especially home technology. Video games were all the rage. The only disc ones were I don't know if the CDI was out yet, but I had one, but I don't know if it was that time. Uh Computer games, mainly the only thing on CD. And
Video CD was out.
was video CD out?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, because you're right. I found this
Oh,
at the
yeah.
exchange like many years ago. A female vampire video disc. Video CD. So yeah.
Remember all those CDs you could pop in your computer and get like a shitty music video that was all pixelated?
Yeah. The best quality you've ever seen. It's like it's all on a CD. I bought this.
Flash is
Can't
awesome.
believe it. Look at the
Yeah.
bonuses.
Real player. Oh, count me in. Nice. But so Edward Furlong's character, he is a big horror metal guy. He likes it. He doesn't look like it, but he's really into it. His best friend really looks the part. So his best friend is like, hey, you gotta check this shit out. There's an article or an ad in Fangoria. And apparently, I guess it has a phone number on it. I don't know. He calls the phone number and speaks to somebody. And somehow they're able to like flash his brain from wherever they're at, and like he gets the brain scan disc from what they scanned. So like the game is what they got out of his mind when he was on the telephone. You see him go through like these flashes and stuff. It's like it was almost like an like epileptic seizure like they put him in when he goes into his trances. A funny thing is Edward Furlong was the same age as his character. Everyone else was in their 20s playing team. So that was funny. Yeah, that was my biggest part was like he called that guy and then all of a sudden out of nowhere his lights start flashing and there's nothing supernatural at all. Like not at all in this movie. They make it seem like it's gonna be, but it's really not supernatural at all. So, you know, he's a big horror guy. He's seen it all, he thinks. He wants to push the envelope. Gets the brain scan disc, puts it in, then he freaks out. They like a whole bunch of flashes. He freaks out. And then it goes all first person giallo a little bit where he kills some rando. You know, nothing. They don't explain who this guy is. He's just some random victim. I thought maybe there was going to be some
talking
Huh?
to him. I love how the voice is talking to him.
Yeah,
What's his name?
trickster.
Yeah, Trickster. Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of egging him on through the whole thing.
Get the knife.
Yeah, Trickster was a cool character though. I really liked
Yeah.
his overall look. He had like a stretched face a little bit. At least it gave that effect to me. He was like a mix of what did I say? 80s hair metal looking and then a little bit of 90s like his whole look was cool. It like he almost looked like a Two-Face villain. Like
Yeah, his outfit,
I kind of
definitely.
liked them. Um, so he plays the game. He thinks it's the coolest thing ever. He freaks out. He loves it. He's telling his friend all about it, and then the murder was real. And an actor that's in this I really like, Frank Langella. He is his quiet intensity. He doesn't really do much until the very end. He just, all he has to do is talk. Pretty much like, and he just like freezes you. Um, let's see here.
Isn't it weird that he dated Whoopi Goldberg? Isn't that the strangest
Frank
thing in the world?
Langella?
I think so.
No,
I
they
know
were just in that movie
him and
together.
Ted Danson were.
They were just in a movie together. I put it
Yeah,
on
no.
and having them in a relationship for years, dude.
No, Frank and Jello, they were in that basketball movie in the 90s
Well,
that she takes
that's
over
all
this
I needed.
basketball team. Yeah. They didn't date. No, Whoopi
Oh, they
did date
fucked, I
Ted
bet.
Danson.
Type
That
of
is
shit.
true.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, he wore blackface when he was with her.
Oh my god.
Oh fuck.
All
Anyways,
right, let's
John,
get back on track.
you got
Yeah,
4
anyway.
minutes.
Anyway, so he's playing through the game and all this stuff is happening. Then we meet the trickster. And he's there's 4 discs to the game, and each disc is like a different mission. So like the first one was to kill the guy. Second was to was it get rid of a witness, which ended up being his best friend, which he wasn't really a witness, but Trickster convinces him that he would have you pissed him off. He's your best friend and you pissed him off.
The trickster is a
Trickster's a dirty trickster. Then he tells him to get rid of a clue, and then the final witness was the girl next door, who is equally as much of a freak as he is, because he's watching her through the window, she's watching him through her window and taking pictures and shit.
Aren't they always?
Yeah.
The girls
I
next
hate
door.
that.
Yeah.
Towards the end, there's a little bit of 90s digital happening, 90s CG, which is funny.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, there's not a lot of it, but there's a lot of it all at once. So there's some like
Get a
green.
dose.
What's that?
Get a good dose of it, man.
Oh yeah, all at once. Like there's like a morphing, and Trickster and Ed Furlong like merge and stuff. And from what I read on IMDb, they were supposedly they shot like a different version of that merge. Like they looked like something completely different. Instead of just like a little, like Ed Furlong's face was just a little like weird on the one side. It wasn't like, it was just like it looked dirty. I don't know. But that's all it did. It looked like he needed a shower. Then it turns out at the end he refuses to do the final thing, which is kill the girl. So Trickster opens the door, the bedroom door. Frank Langella comes in, he's like, murderer. And he just shoots him. Then he wakes up. It was all a video game. It was all a video. It was all that. Everything was there. No one died. No one died at all. Except
April Fools.
yeah, but then during the credits, Trickster says something, and the credits shatter. You see the dog carrying that foot back to Edward Furlong's front door. So it's like, was it real? Was it not? Overall, the movie was just okay. It felt, honestly, it got a little boring. It felt boring. There was action in it, but not a lot. The director, a little note about the director, he directed my favorite and only Steven Seagal film I like, Out for Justice.
Oh yeah.
He directed that. He also said he didn't have a good time shooting with Furlong on this. He said, even as a kid, he's like, the kid can't act. I'm tired of him. He's pretty bad. So after all that, I am giving this a 5 out of 10. It was okay. I feel like I would have liked it when I was younger.
Yeah, I think you had to have watched it Like that's
Now
that's
it's like
probably got a
watching
lot of
Batman.
nostalgia on it. Because I wanted to have like I was like, man, he's got a fucking horror club at school. Look at his fucking awesome room. Look at that video game chair. I want that goddamn butler on the computer that
Right?
answers
Yeah.
his
Oh yeah.
phone.
I didn't even mention
Like
his
he's got
phone.
awesome CD collection. He's playing White Zombie. I mean, I don't know.
Inside.
Without weakness or dark subjective.
All right, John, who did you pick for?
I picked Randy. Randy,
Right.
I get you.
Hi, I'm Randy.
I'm an alcoholic.
um, John gifted me Frankenstein's Army from 2013, clocking in at a beautiful 84 minutes. Directed by Richard Rappahorst. Never heard of him. Looked him up. Nothing of any note. So, screenplay by Chris W. Mitchell and Michael Tejada Flores, or Miguel, I'm sorry, Miguel Tejada Flores. Either way, Michael, Miguel, doesn't matter because they didn't do shit before this or after. So that's that. A brief overview. A battalion of Russian soldiers are lured into the secret lab of a mad scientist where they are forced to face off against an army of horrific flesh and metal war monsters. I liked how this began. It's technically a found footage, um, set during World War II, right? So the Russians are, yeah, the Russians are pushing into Germany, and they've got a camera crew with them who are recording all the battles that they come upon. And they're recording it with the old timey cameras. I think it's not, they don't have to do this all the time. I think they have the trigger on it, but I did see a guy doing one. So I think that's 35 millimeter film. It's supposed to look like that. And it starts off looking like that, but it flips to digital about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes in.
Like
to
all
like
these
straight
filters
up
are
what-
fucking too
Yeah,
much.
they took that filter off. I mean, am I wrong, John? I mean, it looked just like a digital camera.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
afterwards, the actual footage of the film, the movie of the events they're going through, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was like, I was watching, I was like, that's a cool, neat little look, because it's like, camera burns and little flippy little drag marks and stuff, and you're like, oh, and then it just stops. So now you're in this battle with these guys, and they're fighting their way across the land to this where they hear that there's a scientist holed up, and they get to this, like, first off, I want to say the special effects are really good in this movie across the board. Okay. That's the best compliment I can give it, is all of the special effects look really good. Like, they're going into this facility and it looks like a real, like, old kind of castle almost. There's all these dead bodies everywhere. And as they get inside, though, this is where the story for me on this movie is very lackluster. It's not, there's not a whole lot fleshed out in this story. It's just that it reminds me of, like, at Halloween when you go to one of those like haunted houses and you're just going down the hallways and crazy shit's happening. That's what this reminded me of, like somebody filming that. Because it's like it's set up specifically to showcase each one of these crazy monsters that they created, which is cool. It looks neat. But
That's what
the
made me
story-
want to watch it. Is I saw those monsters. That has
Yeah.
to be the highlight.
The
Oh,
creature.
the battles with these things are fucking awesome. Okay, so that's what makes this movie fun to watch. All right, if you're going in expecting, like, oh, well, I wonder what the scientist is doing. He does a whole song and dance about what he's doing. Doesn't fucking matter at all. It's just to move the plot forward.
Yeah.
But there's they get chased. Guys get picked off by these monsters. They get into, like, the center of this facility. One of the best parts of this movie, they capture this little Nazi kid. Okay, he's got a fucking uniform on.
Yeah.
And they're just dragging his ass around. Like, they won't just let him go. He's a little kid. I mean, like 6 or 7. And they see this monster, like, go down the chute, and you hear screams and blood's flying everywhere. And they're like, we need to see what's down there. And they're like, here, they grab this kid and they jam him down inside. They're like, "Tell us what you see," and then he just explodes into blood.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Just gets ripped limb from limb, just fucking destroyed. And then they're like, "Oh, we're not going down there," like they find a different way around.
Yeah.
But once you meet the doctor, it's Victor Frankenstein. It's in the title, so I'm not spoiling anything. And he's got a whole song and dance about he was trying to create the ultimate soldier. And the documentarian has some conflicts with some of the soldiers, so they don't really want to save him, which is kind of funny to me. Like, do you remember, John, at the end, he's like tied down, and they're like, the guy comes in, he kills a dude, takes his head off, carrying the head out, and he's like, "Help, help!" And the guy just runs off. He leaves.
Yeah, because that dude screwed them over. He led them there. Like, he had a radio jammer in his bag, and he was like just playing that announcement on a loop that their dudes were needing help.
Yeah, they kept. That's what I forgot to say. The whole reason they stick around is because they keep getting this message that's like, "Hey, you need to help us." That's why they go there.
Right.
So, but it's just a trap to make more Nazi monsters, basically. And the ending is just kind of lackluster. It just kind of ends. But there's some really cool monster fights along the way. I'm not going to describe each one. My favorite one was like he had like a metal head and these like giant blades on his hand. He was like walking like this, kind of like something out of Silent Hill. That was really cool looking, almost like some sort of arachnid, but there's so many cool creature designs. They must have spent hours and hours and hours and tons of money putting these together because they're practical. There's no CGI for these things at all, so they look really cool.
There's very little. It's like it's if there's any on the creatures at all, it's blended in. Like a little bit compared to the practical piece.
Like there's even one that's face like opens and crushes stuff, and it's got like
that crushed he looked like an Eskimo to me, that darker guy, right? That's what got him, and then they pulled his helmet. Oh yeah. So when they got the kid, right?
Yeah.
He was with the old man and that girl that was a nurse.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You're a nurse, help him. So she just pulls off his helmet, which was crushed onto his head, and his brain.
And the brain, yeah. She's like, the whole reason they don't just kill her right away, because she's technically a Nazi, is they're like, "Help our friend," and then she just yanks this helmet off.
She's like, "I don't know what to do."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it had some really cool stuff, some cool kills. I'd say, like I said, the pros are, very cool opening. The style of the 8mm I liked. The creature designs, the gore was top notch. I'd say my things I didn't like, the acting is shit in this. It is just what you would expect, like over the top kind of stuff. The plot is super thin, like I said, so you're not like, there's no real super like good story in here. It's just a device to get you to this cool monster place. There's no likable characters either. I mean, am I right on that? Like every character in this movie, when they died, I was like, "Good, fuck him."
especially the loudest and meanest of them all.
I hated that guy so fucking much. Yeah,
but he really played his part really well.
Yeah.
I hated that guy.
But I feel like that's what this I didn't feel like he was acting. I feel like if you went out on the town with this dude, that's what he was like. So,
oh God.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sucks.
I'd say this was on Tubi. This is a good one-time watch. For me, it was like a one and done. I wouldn't buy this or anything, but I would suggest if you have Tubi and you're looking for something on a Friday night, get your little horror fix on. This is a good one. I gave it a 5 out of 10. So.
And you picked Jace for Jason again this year.
Yes, I did. Right? I picked for Jason. Yeah.
Did he do a good job, Jason?
Will there be redemption? I don't know. What else is this movie called?
Azrael.
Yes, and I forgot to do the summary. But anyway, this takes place after the rapture. So I was really expecting more of a religious tone for this movie since it's after the rapture. which is supposed to be 7 years of tribulation and the complete lack of the presence of God. So I figured it was going to play into more of that, like devil demon stuff, But anyway, I was really surprised. It seemed like there was, it may not be this many, but it seemed like there was 3 or 4 headshots in this movie that is done just as well as any movie I've ever seen. The practical effects overall, I really wasn't expecting to be this good. But they were great, actually. At one point, so let me back up a little bit, I guess. There's not much of a storyline to this movie. And then the story that is there, you kind of are, it's already been told before. Also, you're up against the wall with the storyline when there's zero dialogue in this movie. Like,
yeah, I didn't want to tell you that going in.
I read the brief description. It says that they take a vow of silence for their transgressions or something like that. So, but I'm expecting like, okay, that's going to take me up to about the midpoint, and then they're finally going to break their silence, and then it's going to turn it into like a regular movie. But there's like,
nope.
And there's another funny part. There is like 4 or 5 words being spoken
all by that driver guy
in this movie.
Yeah.
And then it's a different language, and I don't know what he's saying anyway. So there really is no dialogue for an English speaking person in this movie. So when you don't, I mean, you're essentially making a silent film. I mean, you have your sound production there, but it is kind of hard to tell a real good story without having any words. So I guess in that sense, they did a good job, I guess. There's a meat cleaver to a neck in this movie. Like the practical effects really took me by surprise. I really wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, they're good.
But then they have these. Again, when I'm thinking 7 years tribulation after the rapture, these creatures, are they demons or what? There's no story there to tell me what these things are, what their point is. You notice that they don't look certain people in the eye. They don't look at these things. They're like feeding them, I guess, or making these things. They tie people up in the woods. This thing comes in, drinks the blood or whatever. I want more story. I want to know what the hell's going on. How'd they figure out that this had to happen?
I said the same thing. The only thing I could come up with was they were demons. That's the only thing that made sense.
Yeah,
they weren't zombies.
They just look, but in that sense, then they just look like muddy people. They just look like they're people that's been just covered in mud.
Yeah,
Burned.
you know what they reminded me of? They
Burned.
they reminded me of those people in We Are Still Here.
Yeah,
remember?
And
they were charred.
Reminded me of Tarman, the way he was walking.
There's
Tarman.
The way he shambled, yeah, for sure.
A cool little baby devil at the end. Spoiler alert.
It's like what their whole deal was about.
That was kind of cool to see. But yeah, good kills,
her
good
murder
good
rampage.
Production.
Her murder rampage, man. Right?
Her
murder
rampage.
Yeah, at the end when she's going back, just killing motherfuckers left and right.
So and that's another thing too. So when she has that shotgun, I won't go that far into it, but there's a couple dumb things in this movie. Like, all right, this one I got to mention. She's sneaking around, and they have all these like chimes and glass bottles and noise traps set up.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's out there with a gun or whatever, like take guard or whatever, and she makes a loud ass noise, but then the guy doesn't go investigate it. Like, you take the time to set up all these like sound traps. You hear a big bang, and then you just don't go investigate it. But
all right.
No, I like this movie. I like the religious stuff. I like demons. I wish it would have been more heavy on that, but um, with the practical effects in this, I gave it a 6 out of 10. It's on Shudder. I recommend you watch it at least once. Yeah, that's it.
Tomorrow, and
Randy
tomorrow
is much better than last year.
Came
Yeah.
in and I totally redeemed myself.
Yeah.
Well, now I already know that John Paul didn't like the movie you picked for him, Jason. I saw the comments.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Isn't it weird too? Isn't it weird that seriously, in the history of me, maybe one or two, I guess, but a movie that doesn't have a trailer?
Yeah.
I don't
Like,
think
what-
I've ever
what?
run into that. Every movie has a trailer.
Oh,
even
no.
really shitty,
I
low
found the
budget
trailer.
ones. Oh,
Well, I
did
didn't
you?
find no trailer. I tried to
Okay.
find a trailer, but in my defense, I just skipped through the movie. It looked okay. It's supposed to be a Christmas horror movie.
Did
That
you
was a good
see
guess.
the movie?
No,
Through
no, I
it.
haven't watched
So
it.
this was a blind, hey,
Yeah,
I got you as the Christmas gift.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
got your
I
name.
saw this
I'm
at the
going to
gas
the store,
station.
and this is a gas station dollar bin movie.
Yeah, it's like a last
So-
minute gift. Yeah.
It's a
allow
lottery
me
ticket.
allow me to give the airings of the grievance after I read the brief description of this movie. This movie is called Christmas Spirit. A lone man with a Christmas spirit trapped in his head must kidnap a teenager girl in order to save Christmas.
Sounds
As you
right.
do.
Okay, that sounds like a horror movie, right?
It's on
Mhm.
Shudder, right?
It's
Yeah.
on Shudder. That's right.
Like mine was. Mine was
Like
also
all
on horror.
movies on Shudder are horror movies.
They got some
Okay,
weird shit on there anymore.
allow me
Yeah. They're getting
to
kinda
see what
loose.
you skimmed. Okay,
All right.
so at the beginning of this movie, it is set 20 years in the past. So it's let's say it's 2004. And there is a young man who's probably in his teens and his sister, and it's right around Christmas time. And his sister's all excited about Christmas and saying, "Brother, it's time to put up the lights. We got to put up the Christmas lights." And he's like, "I will after I get done playing with my Super Nintendo wrestling game of Luchador," because that's what he was doing. I don't know what game that was, but that was more exciting than this movie. So the little sister decides, "I'm going to go climb on the roof. I'm going to put up these lights."
Oh, jeez.
Oh no, she slides down and hangs herself by accident in front of her brother in the mirror, and he's just like, if you saw this shit, you'd scream, you'd yell, you'd be like, "Mom, somebody!" He just stared for like what felt like forever, but I don't fucking know how it was a 5-minute scene. This movie's only an hour and 24 minutes with credits, mind you.
All right.
Okay, so then they go to the church, the funeral of the sister because she died. She hung herself, and out of nowhere, this little boy, he looks over, and out comes this luchador. I kid you not, the guy's dressed like a fucking luchador. He's got the mask and everything, and he's like, "Leon." This thing, I even forget his name because it was like, fuck this noise. He's like, "Leon, you have to do something to redeem your sister's death, or I can't be freed because I'm a spirit." All right? Like, well, okay. I'm like, this is interesting, right? Then you get a nice big giant title card. 20 years later, you see Leon is a mechanic and just a total slub, and he's sitting in his kitchen eating his little Cocoa Puffs, and he's just like, "Yum, yum, yum." And then out of nowhere, the luchador pops out again, and he's like, "Hey, you have to do something. I have to be freed from this evil thing. You have to save your sister somehow." And then like out of nowhere, then he starts scrolling through TikTok. And I'm like, okay, 5 minute scene of him scrolling through TikTok. And I'm like, what the fuck? And out of nowhere, there's this girl, and she's just like, hey guys, you have to hashtag me and blah blah blah. And then it literally just goes black again. And that's the thing. This movie kept like wipes completely black scenes.
Oh, jeez.
It then flashes to the girl at home, and she's like,
"Why I did have a trailer."
"Oh,
Yeah.
it has a trailer, and it doesn't show any of this shit, mind you."
It's totally different movie.
Yeah, and this felt like a Lifetime movie. I will tell you that.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, said girl then is scrolling through, doing her little dances on TikTok, doing her bullshit, and then it swipes again, and it goes back to, she's like, oh my God, my dad bought me a new car, because she's on now like Instagram living this thing. It's like, oh my God, there's a new car here. Oh my God. Oh my God. She runs up, and then she just hears, she runs upstairs. It's like, Mom, that's my piano teacher.
Oh, was
and
it
then
the
this
luchador?
guy, her piano teacher. Then this guy just runs off, the typical running
It
out
sounds
the window
horrible.
thing.
Yeah.
This is a horror movie.
If this movie's as bad as this review,
This is a horror movie that you picked. I want you to watch it.
I almost did.
I want you to watch it and tell me
I
what
almost
happened.
watched it, so I knew what you were talking about.
Oh, well, you go right ahead
You
now, and you'll be
saved
like,
me,
what the hell?
bro.
Okay, so
You know
then she's like, I now no longer believe in Christmas. Christmas is terrible. Blah, blah, blah. Wipe back to the guy walking around in his neighborhood, and the luchador is just like, man, you really got to do something.
What does the fucking luchador have to do with
Yeah, I don't even remember.
It's the
seeing a
spirit.
luchador.
The luchador is the spirit, because he was playing a fucking video game of a luchador. That's exactly what I said. What the fuck does this luchador need to do
I'm
in
all
this
for
movie?
more luchadors being and popping up places, but it just seems like I was waiting on the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
He is the spirit. He's the ghost spirit, whatever you want to call it.
What happens
Yeah,
at
I thought it was going to be like an evil spirit. Not a
No,
luchador.
that's the thing. I haven't got so the guy's just walking around his neighborhood, and luchador's like, "Are you gonna listen to me? Are you gonna listen to me?" He then starts kicking these like Christmas decorations of this neighbor's house, and he's like, "Stop it! We can't do that!" And he starts grabbing and fighting it with the luchador. Then out comes the lady in the house. She only sees him. They think he's a schizophrenic.
All right, that's funny.
But the movie makes no sense.
Well,
so he's like, what you have to do now is you have to find this girl, kill her, and I will be free. Out of nowhere, then this guy decides to drive to a mall, and there's these hood rat kids just playing and kicking, and they kick his van. He's like, hey man, let's fight. And then it's like, again, the longest scenes ever that make no sense. No sense.
How did he have to? Like, why did it take 20 years to find the girl?
I know. And the thing is, the girl supposedly looks like his sister, which is even more messed up.
Yeah.
Well, what did you rate it? What did you give us?
Wait, no, I'm going to finish this. I got it.
No, how did it end? Cut to the end.
He's going to make us watch it through his words.
Wait to the end.
Sorry.
Yeah. If I fell through 125 minutes of this pain, you will too. No. Basically, it ends where he kidnaps the girl. He does not kill her. And the only death in this, a cop accidentally gets shot in the arm. And then they decide that they both believe in Christmas, and the luchador disappears. That's it. There's no fucking horror in this horror movie. This is terrible, Jason. And the only reason I am being a good person and giving it a 1 is because it was a Christmas movie. It was a
Yeah.
Christmas
It's a tiny
movie,
one.
and this is the Christmas special of
was
Last
such a
Roundup.
tiny one.
Was there anything else on the paper but a one?
It was
Just a
very
one.
Just a
tiny
little
one.
one?
A lone one.
Look how
Yeah,
small
wasted
that
all the
one
sheet
is.
of paper.
He doesn't even want to give it any more room on the paper. He hated it.
I
so-
don't. It's a lone one. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Like
fuck.
I really, and the thing is, Jason, I thought, oh my God, maybe I messed up. Maybe like you know how sometimes when you watch movies and you like doze off for a second, and you're like fast forward through time, you're like, what the heck? Did I sleep through it? I thought maybe I slept through it. So I thought I'm gonna watch it again and just scan through different parts.
He watched it
I
twice.
couldn't do it. I was just like, fuck this. I was
Yeah.
10 minutes into it. And I'm like, no, I know what happens. The luchador does nothing. This is the dumbest movie ever. Why is this a horror movie? Jason, I want you to watch it. I want you to watch it. Watch it with your family because you know what? There's no death. And it involves a happy time of Christmas. I'm an angry elf.
Now you got to watch out if he gets you next
You know
year,
it.
man. Because
Uh,
you know it's on if he
This
gets you
wasn't on
next
Merry
purpose.
effing Christmas.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Right.
New rule.
He bought you a lottery ticket, right?
Let's
It
make
could've
a
been-
new rule. Let's
Listen.
make a new rule. You have to at least have seen the movie that you're gifting somebody.
I would
No.
say it should at least have
No.
a trailer.
Do you own
Hey.
every gift that you give to someone else? That doesn't make
I
sense.
try.
Sometimes
One
you
year-
get, sometimes
Sometimes
you
you like something so much you want to gift it to somebody.
get,
Here, I want to gift Jason this lovely
I need it
container of
watching that
Tums
movie.
yeah.
One
Love
year,
it.
because it's a lot better than the movie
I-
you made me
that's
watch.
a good gift.
I eat them almost every day.
I would love to get that. I would be like, thank you. You're considerate. All right, guys. So I don't know if you want to try to play a game. We don't have to do
No.
one this time.
No,
All right,
I'd
there
just
you
like
go.
to do the show and tell because I
Right.
got something cool I thought you guys might think was fun.
Go for it, Randy. Let's go.
I've
Well,
got show and tell.
time-
Turn
Hold
it
on.
on.
Before show and tell, let's talk about next month's picks and watch the
Oh,
trailer.
yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Do we have time, Frank?
No.
Do we have time? I don't. It doesn't. It's not telling me any. It says 40 minus minutes. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Let me just pull them up here for a second.
Who's picking
So-
this one?
Me and
You and
Randy.
Frank?
You
Yeah.
and Randy.
Yeah. So.
Price
So
pick
they're
by
gonna
Jason.
suck.
It can't be any worse than your pick, apparently.
You don't
I was
know.
hoping to see horror.
He
That's all I
could be
have to say.
completely wrong. He fell
Ghosts
asleep.
or
He
horror?
just said he fell asleep.
I thought I did, but I didn't. That's the sad thing. I wanted to fall asleep.
Okay, this is Rand's pick. So check it out. What?
Okay.
Watch it be loud as fuck. I turned it up quite a bit. I thought it was something. It's just a quiet fucking trailer.
Loud as shit.
Oh,
Funny boy knows what this is.
I ain't gonna like it.
oh, you say I'm not gonna like it?
Yeah.
I think you'll like it.
It's like
Why wouldn't you like it, Jason?
Because it's a good movie.
you can watch Christmas Spirit. I'm just saying.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know
Speaking of
anything about
silent
it. I mean,
movies,
is it a silent movie?
No.
it's close,
No.
and they also have the silent version, the 4K me and Randy just got.
Yeah, I was gonna watch both versions, so I was like, why not just make that next month so I can do it anyways?
Is this still on
Good, I
Netflix?
haven't watched mine yet either.
It's on Shudder.
It's on Shudder.
Oh,
right,
okay.
John
Yeah,
Paul?
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, they moved it from Netflix to Shudder.
Okay,
Yeah, so
cool.
Yeah, Shudder's got the new updated transfer of it.
yeah.
Cool.
And so I tried to pair up something. I knew that was like, what is she? She's deaf. Is that what it is?
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I sort of wanted to commit a companion piece for that in a sort of way. So this is my pick.
Richard Pryor, Hear No Evil, See No Evil.
You can tell it's a little bit old.
Uh-huh.
Columbia Pictures presents Chuck Norris.
Oh, shit.
Damn spiders! You call the police?
Not me, boss.
Nobody call the police. You must be a mirage.
The master fighter of our time.
Jokes.
But not even he could imagine the power of the indestructible man he is about to face. A creation of science whose only thought is to survive.
Thank you, senor.
Unstoppable terror of silent rage. Now, Chuck Norris must destroy him.
Dan, watch out!
What's the
In a
correlation?
final
Just
battle
just
to
the
the
title or what?
Guys, mute.
And beyond.
Who's the mute?
Silent
Killer.
rage.
Oh,
You know,
Jason, I'm a mute.
that's the
Not-
only Chuck Norris
not-
horror movie. I heard somebody
Yeah.
describe it as Michael Myers versus Chuck Norris. So
Pretty much.
I'm into it. But
yeah.
all right, let's do a show and tell real quick. We got like 6:40 minutes. Let's do it.
Go,
I ain't got
Randy,
nothing.
go.
I ain't got nothing.
Yeah, go
so-
for it.
Okay.
Go for it. Go for
I
it.
just
got
want
something.
I just want to show something really cool. Okay, I think it's cool. I was at Half Price Books and I picked up Stepfather on VHS.
Hell
From
yeah.
the rental.
Yeah, and
Wow,
I
look
was
at
gonna
that
say,
clamshell.
look at the old school rental stuff, dude. Like they cut the box and put it in the white clamshell,
Yeah.
and it's even got the Be Kind Rewind from the movie rental place,
Awesome.
and it's got the magnetic strip so you can't steal it.
Yeah, man.
See?
You don't want people stealing your stepfather.
Yeah,
Is it old
But-
or is it new made to look old?
no,
No, it's old.
This
It's
is
classic.
old. Yeah, yeah. This is the
Where'd you get that
original
at? Half Price Books?
Half Price Books, man. They had a whole bunch of VHS, and this was the only horror one they had. I
Nice.
almost bought Titanic just to have it. That's fun. It'd be funny to have the double VHS, but it's really cool, man. I liked it a lot because I was like, I'll put it on my shelf, you know. So,
Mhm. That's
and
cool.
then the other thing I picked up was Alien Romulus on 4K. Now I have all the Alien movies, so I love this one. I watched it again. Looks amazing in the 4K, so.
How many alien movies are there?
Oh my god. A lot.
Including Alien versus Predator. It's what, like 7? Yeah.
That's
All right, who's up?
I'll go.
I
It'll
got
be
some
quick.
nice. I'll go for it.
Yeah, I'll just be real quick. I got Godzilla -1 on Blue.
Nice.
Haven't watched
Best.
it yet.
It's the
Oh,
best
dude.
Godzilla movie ever.
Hands down, the best one I've ever seen. It's fantastic.
Dude,
I've almost started it several times. For whatever reason, I go off it.
I highly suggest the subtitled because
Me too.
it's the actual acting, the voices of the actors during the scene, not just some after studio dub that doesn't really capture the emotion because there's so much emotion in this movie. Like it's great. It's a great.
It's great.
All right, that was it.
John Paul?
Well, I got my haul from Vinegar Syndrome today, the Black Friday deals, and I got the new remastered The Keep on 4K.
Oh, fuck
Cool
yeah!
looking.
I'm
I'm
really
gonna
excited.
borrow that. I'll borrow that.
Really
from
excited for that. I
Yeah,
I
I'll
also
borrow that one.
got
Buy that one too.
I'm gonna borrow
I
that
also
one, too.
got
you.
hey, because it is the holiday season and it's time to build a snowman. That's right. The new remastered
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Trey
Oh,
Parker, Matt Stone's classic
I
Let's
do
Build a
love that one.
Snowman, Cannibal the Musical.
Oh,
nice.
that is a good.
And then I got the lovely classic Cloak and Dagger
mm-hmm.
from the
Yeah.
80s.
Great.
And then, because you're all freaking pervs, anybody
Sliver.
guess?
Liver.
Sliver.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
You guys ever seen
Sliver.
Sliver?
Never seen
I
Sliver.
think so.
Sharon
It's got-
Stone,
yeah,
Alec
yeah.
Baldwin. This
It's
was
one of
after
those
her
suspense
heyday.
movies from the
Yeah.
90s, right?
Yes,
It's like
this was after
suspense.
her heyday of Basic Instinct, so she's got to show DNA in it. So
The whole premise of the movie is there's cameras in this building and this guy's watching them and people are just fucking in them all the time. So
and he's a
pretty
perv.
much.
yeah.
He's a perv.
It's the Baldwin, right? It's
It
Yeah.
is. It's Alec Baldwin.
Oh, is
No,
it Alec Baldwin?
It's
No,
not
not Alec.
Alec.
Sorry, not Alec.
It's William.
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 William. Sorry.
William Baldwin.
They're all just the same.
It's all
Billy
the
Baldwin.
same. It's all the same Baldwin, just divided.
Okay, fat Baldwin, skinny Baldwin, or
Yeah.
Biodome Baldwin.
Yeah.
Anyways,
All right, Jason, hit it. Get in there.
Two. I only got two. They were $5 each. So I think it's Scream Factory most recently came out with this. So this price dropped as above, so below.
Cool.
nice.
And then I think it was Randy last episode, I think, was talking about it, and I realized I didn't have it. Strangeland,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
$5. Both
How
of them,
much?
$5. Amazon,
Damn.
Nice.
$5.
Is that
Nice.
DVD?
$5 each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
don't
only
think
have
Strangeland
Strangeland on
is on
DVD.
Blue.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was
that's
looking,
it.
I got one of those apps like you got to check out, put all your whole collection in.
Yeah.
I have 28 Days Later on DVD. Do you know how much they're valuing that shit at? Because it's not available
50
anywhere.
bucks.
It's like 40 or $50. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I will
I
tell
bought
you-
it for $2.99 at Goodwill.
I
Well,
would tell you, sell it now because they just released the digital today.
I'm
of
not
it,
gonna sell it.
which
Yeah, I'm not
means
gonna-
Not either.
they'll re-release it. Is
I-
what I'm saying.
I bought the double one that's got both of them in it, and it's DVD, and it's selling for $60 right now. So
I'm hoping
yeah.
that DVDs at some point are valued like some old VHS are.
Yeah.
So I'm holding on to all my shit. I mean,
And until they burn
Yeah.
away at the back of it, they don't
It's
work
valued at
anymore.
what people want to pay for it. I mean, people put
Yeah.
$60 on a movie, but who's buying 20
Are they
days
going
later
to?
for $60?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of
I can
people
put
on
my stuff
TikTok.
up for $100, but it doesn't mean it's worth it.
I
Whatever.
just like to know what it's valued at. Kind
It's
of like when
worth
you
it,
used to
Jason.
collect baseball cards.
Gotta have it.
Go
Hey,
ahead.
Frank, we
I
got
sold
less
my
than a
dog
minute.
my
What do you
Blu-ray
got?
for
Yeah.
a pretty penny.
Yeah,
Oh,
what
I
do
don't
you got,
have
Frank?
anything. Just
all right.
happy holidays, guys.
Hey,
Happy holidays.
All right.
happy holidays.
John
Happy
Paul.
holidays,
Sorry.
y'all.
Sorry,
Woo.
John Paul.
Just watch it, Jason. Just
No,
watch
I ain't
watch
watching
the
it.
first 10 minutes of it.
I ain't
Tell
that
me what
sorry.
you think.
You owe him.
I ain't that sorry.
You owe him. You ain't even
I
watch
already skimmed it.
Merry
One.
Christmas.
One.
Merry Christmas.
it.
I'll read the synopsis
Jason,
from
once.
Wikipedia.
It's gonna end it. It's just gonna cut off at some point.
Merry Christmas to all of
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Happy
Merry Christmas,
holidays.
guys.
All right, guys.
See
Happy
you later,
holidays.
guys.
See ya.
Inside, foreclose that tree.
Oh, Daddy, homemade holiday cookies from Pillsbury. Look for the free holiday crafts book right in the package. Making a list and checking it twice. Trying to find the right gift at the right price. Let Genco help the Santa.
This Christmas, you can find qualities unique products at low Gemco prices. Like this 19-inch Custom Series color TV with remote control. Gemco price just $379.88. Or this 14-day programmable VHS video cassette recorder by Zenith. Buy now and receive wireless remote control free. Your cost just $479.80.
Let Genco help the Santa.
Coming Wednesday night, the Christmas classic, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. See Santa Claus and an incredible snow monster in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Merry Christmas! Wednesday at 8, 7 Central Mountain, here on CBS.
It starts tomorrow. Sears before Christmas sale and after Christmas prices. You'll save on hundreds of items throughout the store. Save $50 on a Kenmore refrigerator freezer. Save on a selection of Mrs. and Junior robes. Save on color TV. And save $120 on a microwave oven. Use your Sears credit card during Sears before Christmas sale and after Christmas prices. There's more for your life this year.
This is gonna be a fabulous party. That's right. Everything's gotta be just right for our best friend. It's gonna be great. So let it all begin. When I'm mixing with my best friends, I'm mixing with the best. Canada Dry. You ready for Canada Dry?
The holiday season. What you be, Howard? A time that passes much too soon. Come on, guys. Can you picture taking a special time you'll want to remember? See the camera, Howie? In pictures. To help make those pictures look as good as they can, make sure Kodak paper is behind them. If you don't see these words, it isn't Kodak paper. Ask for it where you get your holiday pictures. How'd you like my present, Howard? Kodak paper for a good look at the times of your life. Great party, Lucy. Tex party mix sure tastes great. Yeah, it sure goes fast. No problem. More Tex party mix! Now we need some great party music. No problem. Party music! Well, at least the food's great. Tex party mix tastes great. Goes fast.
'Twas right around Christmas, and as you can see, Arthur Treat is giving gift certificates free. Don't pay for gift certificates, get them free with a family pack. Coupons can save lots of money for you. On fish, on chicken, on shrimp and clams, too. Certificates and coupons worth more than $5 free when you buy an Arthur Treat family pack.
Daddy, afterwards, don't forget to bring home our family pack.
Free gift certificates. When Firestone decorates for Christmas, they decorate with values, like this stylish Counselor bath scale. Christmas gift price just $2.99. And to turn your Christmas lights on and off automatically, there's a Westclock's 24-hour electric timer. Gift price only $4.99. To hear all your favorite Christmas carols, a Philco 10-transistor AM/FM swing-along radio. Gift price only $12.88, and you can charge them. These and more attractive gifts are at participating Firestone retailers now.
A special Christmas gift from Radio Shack. The TRS-80 color computer at $100 off.
Instant loading program packs turn our color TV into a game arcade.
The color computer is also an education center. There are over 30 games available, and it's perfect for home management.
She's right. With a programmable, expandable computer, you can do more than just play games, like our son's even learning how to program.
Save $100 on the TRS-80 color computer, only at Radio Shack, the computer experts.
You know what I got for Christmas? A bad cold. Picked up a cough over Los Angeles, stuffy head over Denver, aches over Chicago. Mrs. Claus bought me all these medicines. All I need is NyQuil Vicks Nighttime Colds medicine. Got that in Boston. NyQuil alone relieves the same symptoms as all these, so I can get the rest I need.
Got everything?
Yep. NyQuil alone does it all. She's the best present I ever got.
Just in time for the holidays, Alpha Beta's trimming 1/2 off the price of tree trimmings. Half off the price of wrapping paper, ribbons, and bows. Half off box greeting cards, but only for 72 hours. This Friday through Sunday, choose your favorite patterns of paper. Load up on lights, wreaths, ornaments, and save on box greeting cards. But the sale doesn't include the gift of time, because it lasts only 72 hours, Friday through Sunday, at Alpha Beta. Tell a friend.
This Christmas, parties
Hardee's is spreading a lot of cheer for just a little money, because you can get your little elves a regular hamburger, fries, and a small soft drink for just $1. You can even get that last-minute stocking stuffer with an adorable, adoptable baby pound puppy or purry. So stop by Hardee's this holiday season. You'll get a lot of Christmas cheer for just $1, and the perfect stocking stuffer at a special price. Because at Hardee's, we're out to win you over.